Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with another Options and Play video update. Welcome to earnings season. Tomorrow morning, things get going unofficially with the big banks starting to report, and then after that, it's going to get very busy very quickly. Uh, Now, we haven't gotten into the quarter yet, so there really is no idea of what is working now and what will be working 2 to 3 weeks from now. However, one of the things that I have been noticing over the last 2 weeks as we kind of approach some earnings is that rampant reports are really starting to play out pretty nicely. All right, and um, there's maybe a couple reasons for that. The first being that we're in a really strong trending tape, right? And that's very conducive to ramp into the report style trades, right? So um, there may not be a huge reaction to the numbers, and we noticed that last quarter and the quarter before that, right? Like you noticed that there was a lot of stocks that didn't do a whole lot on their actual earnings release, right? Some of them maybe had great numbers and they sold off, or some are maybe flat after earnings, right? And that's a pattern that's played out twice now. Actually, maybe even some of them going back to October of last year and then that quarter. So it's not unusual to see more muted, mixed reactions to earnings. But now that we're in a strong trending tape, what we're also noticing is a lot of like strong action ahead of earnings, right? So the ramp into the reports, I feel like, are really starting to hit like a sweet spot. So I might not be taking like a lot of options into earnings until I see the risk start to get rewarded, right? Like I want to see the moves exceed the priced in option band, right? The priced in option move. But what I am seeing is rampant reports acting way more consistent, right? And just as a refresher, rampant report, right? The three things I look for. So strong sector, right? I want to see the overall interest and then overall setups and overall stocks in a sector acting strong. So that's number one. Number two is I want to see a solid setup on the individual stock that I'm targeting, right? So it has to be. So I have UNH up here, right? So the healthcare sector is acting strong, right? XLV, I'll pull up the chart. XLV, healthcare sector, acting strong, right? Next to tech, probably one of the strongest sectors out there, right? UNH had a nice setup, just emerged last week above the 50-day, right? Holding above the 50-day, and starting to get some 8 EMA, which is the green line support as it starts to turn higher, right? You have earnings this week, so you have a strong sector, you have a strong overall setup on this individual stock, in this case UNH. And the third thing is I want a strong recent history of earnings. So that's either at minimum, last quarter has to be very good, but I'd like to see two, potentially 3 quarters in a row of really solid earnings releases. So like beat and raise reports, right? And that to me is going to give me confidence that this upcoming quarter is likely to be solid too, right? So you have good, consistent history of earnings. You got a strong individual setup on that stock, and then you have the overall sector acting well, right? So you're seeing a lot of that because we are in this like strong trending tape where it's a lot of rotation to the surface. A lot of different sectors are showing good action. Maybe not as consistent as what tech is right now, but you're starting to see things improve. And as we get closer to earnings, like the window that I'm looking for these rampant report style trades are maybe like 3, 5, 7 days out would probably be like the longest of the window. All right, so it's like really 3 to 5 days out. 7 days probably be like the max. But I'm targeting like these stocks that kind of fit that criteria, and I'm looking for rallies ahead of time to either just take the trade off, right, lock in the gain or whatever it is, and then maybe wait until after earnings for like a quick post earnings trade, right? Sometimes if I really like the setup, maybe I'll lock in some money and then hold some like lower debit strategies into earnings, but for the most part, when a ramp into the report works well, that means that the stock has had a really nice run into earnings, and that also means that there's a higher likelihood of that of a sell the news or flat reaction, right? Because the more of a stock runs into earnings, the better the chances that good news is priced in, and that's when you get those muted or mixed reactions. All right. So if the ramp into the report works well, more often than not, I'm trying to lock that in and wait for a new setup. All right. So. Yeah, that's what I'm on the lookout for. I think that right now, indicating, I mean, like that seems to be the setup that's working the best, and we'll see if that continues that way over the next 1 to 2 weeks, really, as earnings really start to heat up. All right. So if you like this video and you're looking for more information about trading earnings with options or trading these rampant report style trades, which I'm always talking about, please follow up with the link in the description below for more information on options to play. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you all tomorrow.